On the planet, first middleweight to win a heavyweight title in 106 years, right?
There you go.
Roy Jones Jr. is in studio. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. I can't complain. How y'all doing?
We're good. My partner over here, I've never seen him like this. You know, he's a professional athlete, well, sort of, himself. Right. And he doesn't get jammed up in the presence of greatness like this, but today he's jammed up by you.
I met him in the break room and I just apologized for my nerdiness right from the get-go. So I've laid my cards out on the table.
Roy, you're in town for this big fight on Friday, and we'll get to that. But we want to ask you. I've got a billion questions for you.
Right.
But where do you think you rank all time?
Well, for me, man, that's not a question that I should answer because it's not fair to rank yourself. If you don't think that you're the best ever, then you truthfully shouldn't be in that sport. And I would be wrong if I told my fans that I didn't think I was the best ever because that's the confidence that I had to display. The confidence that I had to display when I was on top. So to tell you anything less than that, that's what I was aiming for. Whether I accomplished that or not, that's in the fans' minds, not mine. But I was always aiming to be the best.
You've been doing this for 20 years, and no one stays on top for 20 years. And has it been hard to come to grips with that, with not being considered? Because for about 12 years, it was unquestioned you were the best pound for pound fighter in the world.
Right. No, it's not been hard. I mean, it's been a trial and error situation for me. Something we all have to learn. What goes up must come down. So it's not that hard. It's just that when I go out, I want to go out knowing that I did everything that I was supposed to do, and I just don't have it anymore. I haven't seen that yet. If I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing the way I was supposed to be doing, I should say, meaning that my father taught me to box. The only person that could really tune me up was my father. Nobody else could tune my skills. I haven't had a tune-up in 10 years. When I fought Tarver, it wasn't a true tune-up. He just was coming back, and that was like more of a personality clash still. This time, I'm getting tuned up. So this time, I need to come back and be myself. Now, if I lose up to this one, then I'm good.
Roy Jones Jr. is in studio, and you mentioned your father, and you guys had a big falling out, and I learned a lot about you watching that HBO, when you fought Calzaghe, watching the HBO 24/7. Exactly. Have you guys reconciled?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he's back in your camp?
Most definitely.
Okay, what happened?
It's just life. It happens. It don't take nothing to happen for a father and son not to get along. It just kind of happens. Yeah. It don't take one event. It just, you live in the house with a person 17, 18 years and just develop this not so fun feeling of one another.
Especially probably two very competitive people.
Exactly.
Type A personalities.
Exactly. So when you got two of those, they're not going to last long.
He pushed you, didn't he?
Oh, most definitely had to. Or else I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Are you competitive in everything you do?
I want to swallow my water quicker than you do.
that brings us to this, because we're talking with Roy Jones Jr. in studio on the Fan, because he thinks, my partner over here, he's a big guy.
Mm-hmm. No. Let's not say we thinks.
No, you think.
No, we're asking.
Oh, okay. Okay,
no,
that's true.
Don't be throwing
a
think in there,
okay.
you jackass.
If you and he were in a ring, could he last a minute? If you're going at him,
you're trying to get me out as quick as possible.
You're trying to get him out as quick as possible. Could he last 1 minute with you?
It all depends on how much he can take. Because he was a professional athlete, his tolerance will be a little bit higher. I don't know if he still works out at all or not, but if he still works out. If he still works out, he'll be able to take a little bit. If he doesn't work out, he probably wouldn't last a minute.
See, here's my theory behind this. I've got 2 times I can go down to a knee. So that's 9 seconds.
That's true.
So I got 18 seconds there, 9 seconds before I get knocked out. So really, I only have to last 32 seconds.
Won't work.
No, I'm out in 32 seconds.
That won't work.
He'll dominate you.
Okay, question number 2. In a minute, if you're not trying to hit me, if you're just moving around the ring, do I land a CompuBox punch on you?
Maybe a body shot.
Maybe?
Maybe a body shot. I'll tell you why. The reason you may land a body shot is because I'd sacrifice and give up a body shot before I give up a head shot. But you definitely wouldn't touch my head.
Okay, question 3.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Definitely wouldn't touch his head.
I didn't think I'd hit him at all, but I was interested in the answer. Now, question 3. We were debating this. I can take a punch. Been in lots of fights, been hit by big guys, got a pretty good chin on me. Would it be worse for me to get hit by you in the face or in the gut?
In the gut.
See, that was my thing.
Really?
Yeah, most definitely.
You'd break his rib, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because a lot of guys can take head shots. A lot of guys just naturally can take a good head shot. But they don't naturally take good body shots.
That was my theory. I got hit by...
Double over.
I got in a fight one time with a big Polynesian guy on a football team. You know, 330 pounds, took a blow upside the head, kept going.
Right.
But I would think he had the body shot. I remember you fighting Vinny Pazienza.
Persia Hill.
And I just think about that. That makes me cringe. Plus, needless to say, I don't have the best abdominals in the world. I'm thinking the body would be way worse.
He's laughing at you.
No, as well he should.
All right, so you mentioned you know, kind of the decorated fighter of your era, but you're what, 40?
40 years old.
You're 40 now? How do you get to that point? You say you haven't seen it yet, but you will see it at some point. How do you not end up like, I also read about Evander Holyfield, you know, losing all his money. There's a lot of guys down and out after boxing careers. How do you avoid that fate?
It's very difficult to avoid. That's why you do stuff like try to start promoting fights like I'm doing now. Do other things with your money, or do other things with your career to keep you in it, but not necessarily in it.
Did someone guide you in that way along the way, or was that's all been you the whole time?
All been me the whole time.
You've always done it. You never had a big promoter. You always kind of did it yourself. Any regrets?
Nope, none of that whatsoever. If I did it all over again, I'd do the same thing.
By doing that, did you avoid some of the, I guess, the sleazy part of the sport? Because it is pretty sleazy.
I avoid a lot of it. However, sometimes having those big names and they go tie themselves with other fighters, you make more, but you get less of what you make, but you do make more because of them having two sides. They get the whole picture. So they make a big buck of it too, and you don't know about it most of the time. However, me, I'm happy just knowing that I made the best of what I was supposed to make, and I'm good.
Were you involved with Don King?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, Don King is what he is. You know, it's just the truth. He's a shrewd businessman. That's just what he is. He's not no worse than anybody else. He's just a businessman. He's about making money.
And you said that there are guys that that take the cuts without you knowing about it?
Yeah, some of them do. They take certain cuts without you knowing it.
Is it something you talk to young fighters? I mean, do they ever approach you about how to avoid those type of pitfalls?
You really can't, because if you deal with them, you're going to get it. So it's like, you tell them to either learn the sport and learn how to do it yourself, or find somebody who knows how to do it themselves.
Well, it's probably easier for you because you had the name and you had the skills where you could do it. Most guys don't have that opportunity. They need a Don King. You were always so good, you could just do it.
To get a big break. But you see, like, say for instance, like a guy like Steve Forbes, who's fighting Friday, he's from the area.
Yeah.
The people here know him, they'll support him. If he started in this area and built himself up in this area, was smart about the fights he chose, he could do the same thing.
We're talking with Roy Jones Jr. He is in studio with us, 4:34 on ESPN Sports Radio 1080 The Fan. So, yeah, let's talk about this fight. It's the border war.
Right.
It's two guys. The other guy, Jason Davis from Vancouver.
Right.
Why should people go out and buy tickets and watch this one?
Because it's going to be a great fight. Jason Davis fought with Steve Forbes back when Steve Forbes was fighting 130. So they know one another. They're close to each other. They've been keeping their eyes on one another, so it makes for a great matchup. Now, this guy wants to be what Steve Forbes once was. So he wants to take it. He wants to take Steve Forbes' place. The best way to do this is by starting out by beating the guy who you thought lined up. Now there's one guy out of your way. Steve Forbes, on the other hand, is here to say, no, that's not going to happen. I'm the best in this era, from this area. So I'm going to prove that I am still the man and know you're not ready to surpass me. That's what makes for a great fight.
Yeah, that's a big one.
We're banging the drum for, we're both big boxing fans here. How does boxing grow? Is it just getting people out to events like this and seeing it live?
Getting people out to events like this, letting people know that events will be happening, let them know that they have people to support. There are a lot of fighters here. There were guys came to the press conference today that I never heard of. But because they're from the area, it'll give people a chance to support them. Help them build themselves here first. This is what I do. Because I was a boxer who built myself in my hometown first. Build yourself up here first, then the guys out there have to call for you because you got such a good record and such a good following. But you got to build it, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to try to help them start building themselves a great name.
Now, a couple of years ago, you were going to fight the Anderson Silva guy, right? The UFC guy?
Yep.
What happened?
Dana White wouldn't let him do it.
Why not?
I don't know. He just wouldn't let him do it.
He knew he'd get his ass kicked.
Whoop your ass? Nah.
It didn't matter, like I said, to me, I box for a living. If you want to box me, whoever it is, come on.
Yeah.
What do you think of MMA?
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah. My boxing match coming up March 21st. I'm doing a pay-per-view event. I'm fighting Omar Sheikha. I have two big MMA fights on the undercard. I have Ken Shamrock fighting Bobby Lashley, which is a great fight. I think the other one is Roy Nelson and I forget
Jeff
the other guy's
Monsoon.
name. But it's another big fight, and it's Munson, I think. His last name's Munson. It's Jeff Munson. And I'm looking forward to it. I love it because